Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm gonna compare two watches. So this is the Citizen Fujitsubo Diver versus the Tissot Seastar 1040mm. So I featured this Citizen Fujitsubo in my previous watch comparison video as well. I compared it against the G-Shock. And today I'm going to compare it with another mechanical dive watch. This time this is the Tissot Seastar 1000. So both watches are very similar in size and both watches belong to the same genre, which is mechanical dive watches. In fact, both are certified dive watches. And for the Citizen Fujitsubo, you have a full titanium construction, which is highly corrosion resistant, whereas the Tissot Seastar 1000 features a stainless steel case as well as over here I have it on a silicone rubber strap, but this watch originally came with a metal bracelet. So you can refer to my full review of the Tissot Seastar 1000 in one of my Tissot or Swiss watch playlists for the full review on its original metal bracelet. So I've changed it to the rubber strap. The rubber strap gives me more comfort as well as more versatility. In case I want to switch out for another band, I can just use the quick release function here and it's very convenient. Okay, let's take a look at both watches in closer detail. You can see both watches are very similar in sizes. In fact, the Citizen Fujitsubo titanium dive watch is 41 millimeters in diameter, whereas the Tissot Seastar 1000 is 40 mm in diameter. So very similar dimensions. Thickness wise, the Citizen Fujitsubo is slightly thicker. I gotta check the exact specifications for both watches in terms of thickness, but I would say just based off the feel and the wearing experience, the Citizen is slightly thicker. So as I mentioned, the titanium construction for the Citizen is more corrosion resistant compared to the Tissot. And one more thing to note is that for the Citizen Fujitsubo, it also features Citizen's own proprietary Duratec coating. So the Duratec coating is Citizen's scratch resistance coating, and you can see I've been wearing this watch for quite some time. It's still relatively scratch free, except for the clasp over here. You can see some hairline scratches. This is quite unavoidable because of the huge exposure of this clasp whenever my hand is on the table. But other than that, the band as well as the casing so far is quite flawless, and this is something that I really like about the Citizen Fujitsubo. As for the Tissot, I think it's still looks pretty okay as well, even though it doesn't have that anti-scratch coating. So far it's been quite good. I've been wearing it on the silicone band. The silicone band is quite used, as you can see, but the casing so far is very good. And mine, to be honest, the Tissot that I've been wearing, I'm also quite rough on it, and I've been kind of like banging this watch occasionally, not on purpose but accidentally, grazing this watch over doorknobs as well as like on a crystal and stuff. But so far the sapphire crystal on this Tissot Seastar has been holding up pretty well as well. No scratches at all. The Citizen Fujitsubo also features a sapphire crystal, so both watches are same in this aspect, and both watches have a very nice scratch-free sapphire crystal so far. So both watches also features a fully rotatable bezel. This is the Citizen. In terms of the movement wise, I would say the Tissot bezel is slightly better, but yeah, this is just my experience. The Citizen one has a very slight play, whereas the Tissot one is more precise. But in terms of the bezel action, I would say both of them are, still have some areas of improvement in terms of the rotating bezel. Okay, the Citizen and the Tissot both have a date complication in addition to the time telling function. The only difference is that for the Citizen, the date window is at the 3 o'clock position, whereas the Tissot Seastar 1000's date window is at the 6 o'clock position, which I prefer because of its more symmetrical look as compared to the Citizen at the 3 o'clock window. And also you can see the hands and the indices are slightly different. This is some of the design difference in terms of the dial. I slightly prefer the Tissot dial and also the Tissot indices and the hands. Citizen features a sword style hands for the minute hand and a Mercedes style hand for the hour hand, and then they have the rectangular indices, whereas the Tissot have the circle indices with the two sword style hands. Both have a lollipop second hand with a very good sweep. In terms of the movement, the Citizen features Miyota 9000 series movement, which has a higher bit rate, but the power reserve is only at 42 hours. Whereas for the Tissot Seastar 1000, it features the Powermatic 80 movement with a lower bit rate but a longer power reserve. So they are going in different directions. Citizen goes for a higher bit rate, which means that the second hand sweep is smoother, but with a higher bit rate, they sacrifice the power reserve at 42 hours only, whereas Tissot goes for the lower bit rate with higher power reserve at 80 hours. So that's very impressive in terms of the Powermatic 80. For me, I prefer the Powermatic 80 movement, really because of the longer power reserve at 80 hours compared to Citizen's 42 hours. That's almost twice as long in terms of the power reserve for the Tissot versus the Citizen. So for me, I value power reserve hours more rather than the bit rate, but that's just personal preference. And the reason is because I have many watches, so it's good to leave my Tissot watch for like 1 to 2 days without charging it, without using it, so that I can come back to it and wear it without adjusting the time again. So that's just something that I really appreciate for the Powermatic 80. Okay, let's take a look at the case back. Citizen features a non-see-through case back, just a very sterile kind of look, whereas the Tissot Seastar 1000 features a transparent case back for you to admire the Powermatic 80 movement behind. You can see this very beautiful movement by Tissot, and also this crystal over here is also sapphire crystal, if I remember correctly. Yep. In terms of water resistance wise, Tissot is water resistance up to 30 bar or 300 meters, whereas Citizen is up to 200 meters. So honestly speaking, it doesn't really make a difference, because whether you use this dive watch, whether it's rated to 300 meters or 200 meters, it's pretty much the same. Alright, so both features a screw down crown, so you can be sure that you can use this watch for high impact water activities without any water damage. Okay, lastly, I would just do a very quick Lume comparison. Since I have two dive watches here, Citizen versus Tissot, let's take a look at which Lume performs better. Okay, before that, let me charge up the watch with my Nightcore torchlight first, and let's see. Okay, so let's off the lights and check out the Lume for both watches. Okay, so you can see both Citizen and Tissot have very good Lume as expected, because both are dive watches. The Citizen Fujitsubo have a slightly better Lume, and that is kind of expected. Citizen is also very well known for their Lume. Citizen's Lume is green in color, whereas the Tissot is more like bluish in color. Both watches also have a peep, and I would say the Citizen's peep over here at the 12 o'clock position is brighter than Tissot's one. Yeah, both have very good Lume, but Citizen's Lume edges the Tissot Seastar's Lume slightly. Yep, so that's the Lume comparison for both watches. Okay, so in conclusion, I would say that both watches are excellent watches for their price. They are both priced about $1,000, slightly below $1,000, and if you're lucky, you can get it even at 700 or 600 for those stores that are having clearance sales. So personally, I love both watches. Both watches are one of my top few favorites. I even feature both of these watches in one of my videos where I review the top 3 watches, mechanical watches that I'm wearing. But if I were to just choose one between these two, I will go for the Tissot Seastar 1000, really because I just prefer the design and look of the watch as well as the 80 hours power reserve. Yeah, so again, both watches are very good. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you do like this video, do drop me a like, share, and subscribe. And also feel free to comment down in the comment boxes below. And with that, I'll end this comparison video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.